Hello viewers, welcome to Core for Any. Medicare App, Backend API, Node.js inside. Today we need to develop this here the two API. Issue edits API and as well as the issue delete API we need to develop inside the admin sides. First of all, needs here the multiparts library are the imports are the needs. If you not see here the yesterday video, please first of all the here watch here the yesterday video add issue with multiparts form data API we need to develop here. Again, need to explain this API how to write downs for the updates multipath with multipath query. Now need to write down here the app.post and we need to write down here the API slash API slash admins and to write down here the edit issue and we need to get this here the two parameters request and response like this callback here. Now need to declare here the form is equal to create here the new multiparty dot form methods need to initialize here like here so need to callings and to creating here the forms or the passwords need to needs here f is capitals otherwise not working like here forms. Now need to call this here the forms dot parse and we need to pass this here the objects as a request and we need to get this here the three callback parameters. First one is the errors, second one is the parameters request parameters gets here, and third one is that to get this here the files and this callback functions like here. Now need to first of all the check here the error, then we need to throw this here the helper dot throw HTML errors. We need to pass this here the errors and we need to set here response semicolons. Now need to returning this here the save here. Then after we need to set here the configurations or the print here the helper dot delog. We need to show here the parameters request object. We need to print same as we need to print here the file debug log and same as we need to file parameters also print here and to another logs need to put here need to go inside the add need to copy here and we need to paste this here is good, remove this here lines like here. And now need to helper dot check required parameters need to check conditions. First of all need to check this here the access tokens is valid or not, so need to test here. Pass here the request dot headers response object and to get this here the returns here the user object if valid and to get this here the this object and this is the admin access that's on to check always here that this admin's users tokens are the valid or not need to check here and then after continue this here the API like this condition check here. Then after we need to put this here the helper dot delog not delogs need to check here the parameters check parameter valid need to pass here the response request object and then after need to check here the key need this here the checking for the here the cat name parameters maybe need to set here add inside the issue name use that's when to use issue name like here the set here the API name this is the required if valid set this here the valid then to get this here the callback inside these functions. Now this is are the adds here. Now need to for here the files need to check here where file name by default need to set here the blank where need this here the conditions update update conditions update set value like here set here the name as a blank. Now need to check here if conditions. If file dot image need to get this here the parameters, and need to against process same follow need to copy inside the add. These tabs need to follow here copy, and we need to paste this here, get this here the all value, and to put this here the issue inside this creating these files with these names. Need to initialize here the file names like here the settings, and save path also need to get here. Now we need to go here and to fs dot rename methods need to call this here, and we need to call here files image 0 dot path. Then after need to pass this here the save path here, and to get here the errors like here the callback write down here, and need to again need to copy this here the error logs, and not pass here the response because need to optionals. That's why I need to not any take any actions for the not sending here the response in server. Only throw and console log print what is the gets here the errors need to printing for the debug purpose. Why hell this here the file saving. Now outside of these file extensions for these conditions need to update query, you need to write down here, right here the db dot query, and we want to call this here the update. Give this here the category detail tables, and we need to set this here the column name, and we need to set here the cat name question mark. Now we need to set here the modify date is equal to now functions calls, set here the where conditions, need to write down here the get id, maybe forget here one parameters get id like here's question mark, and conditions status not equal to question mark like here the set conditions, and we need to write down here the update query also need to write here update set value is equal to set here the comma and double quotes. We need to set here the column names is a image value, set here double quotes, pass here the file name with bind here plus, like here set, and set here plus, and to fix this here the error warnings. And now after we need to before break this here the lines, and pass this here the update set value. Need to already give this here the comma, that's why need to after this value need to put, otherwise need to wrong errors need to query are the creating here the syntax errors. Now need to pass this here the all value. First one to give this here the request object dot issue name, and after need to pass here the request dot get id, and need to get this here the errors dot results. So need to check here like here. Now copy here, and we need to paste this here if gets any errors, if not gets then to check here the result affected row more than 0 else parts. Now need to write down here the JSON, set here status, set here 0 and to call this here the message issue get update fail, like here returning here message. Same as now need to set here success dated successfully, like here, and to return this here the new image names if available, then to returning this year's image and to pass this here the file name, like here, and we need to save this here. This here the edit issue API are the done here and to setting are the done. Now maybe here make mistake because multi parts need to give this here the error brackets. Now need to save and to fix this here. Now we need to create here the delete issue API. We need to develop here. We need to write down here the app dot post and to call this here the slash API slash admin slash delete issue, and to call this here the request response, like here helper dot dlogs, and we need to call this here the API request dot body. Need to print where request object is equal to request dot body. Need to get here. Now check here the access tokens, pass this here the request dot headers, then after need to pass this here the response object and return this here the if valid, then to user objects need to returning this here, like here. Now need to check here the helper dot check parameter valid functions need to calls response object request object, then after need to check here the parameters need to need this here the get underscore id needs, and need to if valid then to get this here, and also need to make sure access token inside pass this here the required access authorized. Need to set here the admin authorized needs for this API. That is need to set here the configurations. Now need to call this here the db dot update query. Need to call here update category detail set, and we need to write down here the names, updates here the soft delete question mark, and need to also modify dates or to update date, set here the now, and where conditions need to apply here, and need to put this here the get id parameters, then end condition, also check here the status is not deleted. Make sure maybe you need to pass here the status, maybe forget here, set here to. Now pass here the values request object dot get id, and pass this here the delete not deleted, like here the conditions, set here. Now need to get this here the errors and results, need to returning this here the value in this callback functions. Now need to check here if gets here the errors, then to throw this here the helper dot throw html errors, and to write down here the errors response, like here return these functions. If not gets, need to check this here the result affected row more than 0, then to successfully deleted this records else parts. Need to call this here hell message. We need to print here status is equal to 0, then after message issue delete fail. Like here's copy, paste this here. Need to set here the status as a 1 and issue deleted successfully. And we need to save this here, and this admin issue deletes API are the done, and today we need to creating two API edit issue with multi parts with updating here the image, and then after we need to create this here the delete issue API form URL encode X need to call this here the API like here greetings. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.